do this again.
How's it going, everybody? We just saw the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Actually, I just saw the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
You just saw it. I saw it a couple of days ago. You
Yeah.
just saw it for the
Third time.
third time.
Yeah.
See, so evidently you must have liked it then. I was going to start off
Yeah.
with just our consensus, good or bad. So that's a good for you?
That's a good.
I'm going to give it a good 2. I say it was good. I went to it, like, a lot of people I saw, liked it a lot. Some people are saying it's, really, really good.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's okay for a kid's movie, and some people are saying it's not.
Yeah.
I've been seeing more positivity towards it than negativity, so I kind of went into it expecting maybe good for a kid's movie.
Yeah.
But honestly, I came out of it thinking it was just plain good.
Yeah.
It
was an enjoyable time.
I was very, very much surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
It's not like cinema, I guess, if you want to be a pretentious filmmaker and call it that.
Yeah.
I don't whatever.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was really entertaining. When I was sitting there in my seat, I was thoroughly entertained the whole time.
I was the same way.
So starting off, let's just talk about the acting, because one thing I want to draw a couple of comparisons to Detective Pikachu, because that was the big game movie last year that a lot of people saw, and the attitude towards that was kind of finally a good video game movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, Detective Pikachu was pretty decent. I think you liked it more than me. I had some issues with it. I thought the acting was really bad sometimes.
I watched it again, and I guess my feelings for it have
the honeymoon period's over.
Yeah, honeymoon
and
period definitely
hindsight.
was wiped.
What's it? Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Sonic, honestly, I think had a lot of strengths that Detective Pikachu didn't have. Firstly, I'd say the acting was good across the board. I don't think it had
Very
any
much so.
bad acting that I would say. James Marsden was fine. I think he kind of got the job done. The whole time, I kind of just wished he was Paul Rudd, though. Remember when there was talk about Paul Rudd doing it?
Yeah.
I think that role would have been perfect for Paul Rudd, because Paul Rudd's just a good comedy actor, and I think he would have been perfect for that role. He's one of my favorite actors, too, at least more comedy-focused actors.
Yeah.
But I didn't get Paul Rudd, but it was still fine. He did a good job.
It was a good placement for him.
But what do you think about Ben Schwartz as Sonic?
Ben Schwartz was probably one of my favorite version of Sonic.
Your
I guess.
favorite interpretation?
Interpretation of Sonic.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
His voice acting, wonderful. His tone is
I thought he was perfect for the role. Yeah. He felt very. Honestly,
I preferred him over Roger Craig Smith.
I was gonna say honestly, I think I prefer him over Roger Craig Smith. Yeah. I was trying to rack my brain for his name. You just said it. I was gonna say Daniel Craig. That's James Bond. I knew the word Craig was in there somewhere. But no, I thought he would. Yeah. I thought he nailed the character perfectly.
I was pretty for it. I was hearing people wanting Jaleel White from the old
I don't know.
cartoons and stuff, and I'm like, just let it die.
I don't know. I think Jaleel White is good for a certain version of Sonic that we knew from the 90s.
Cartoon.
But the Sonic in this movie was not that Sonic. And that's the thing a lot of people forget about Hollywood adaptations. Well, that's the point of an adaptation. You're not copying something that exists. You're making a version of it. But the thing is, that's also the problem with video game movies, is because since video games, I guess, weren't really a respected medium in that world, they kind of see it as, something else we can do. They don't respect the source material. I mean, look at the Mario movie is the big infamous example. Yeah. They took the characters, and they knew what they looked like, but those
they didn't know what the hell they were doing.
That's not Mario, that's not Luigi, that's not Bowser. These are people wearing those costumes with those names. Yeah. But this very much felt like a Sonic movie. This felt like a Sonic character. And I think that's one of its bigger strengths that I think Detective Pikachu had as a weakness. But this is very This is very subjective. This is what I think. The movie had a very, very safe plot.
Yeah.
I think it was safe, but I think it works to its benefit, because the whole plot is just Sonic comes to Earth, people find out there's an alien here, and Robotnik wants to capture him and harness his power.
Yeah. Everything you get from the trailer.
It's really simple, but they didn't have to worry about a lot of things in doing that.
Yeah.
So while I didn't really take many risks with the actual plot, I think it paid off.
Yeah.
It was just a good, simple movie, and again, it's a kids movie, so but even though it was a kids movie, and this is an interesting thing. We're going back to Detective Pikachu kind of was riddled with adult jokes. Because we know older people like Pokemon too, so we're gonna have the occasional adult joke, and I appreciate when they do that.
Yeah.
But Sonic, I'd say, is more appropriate for younger audiences. There's no swearing at all. It's more G-rated, so it's definitely more of a kids movie than Detective Pikachu was. Yet, I found this movie way funnier.
Yeah.
I think it's because, like, while the jokes are more age appropriate, the jokes felt more like they're coming from a character that I care about, rather than in Detective Pikachu. It just kind of felt like Ryan Reynolds being funny.
It felt like the series is organic humor.
Exactly.
Like,
Because Ben Schwartz was really funny, but the jokes coming from Sonic felt like stuff Sonic would do. Like the beginning where they introduced James Marsden's character, he's like this bored cop, small town. He's trying to do speeding tickets, but there's no cars. So he's doing it on a turtle, you know. And then Sonic starts messing with him. Sonic starts running by. The gun's like says 1,000 miles an hour. And Gus, he's like, was this thing broken? And Sonic's like in the background giggling. That seemed like something Sonic would do. And it was silly. It was fun. I was into it. Like, a lot of the humor really landed for me.
Yeah, like, I mean, of course there was like the occasional like internet humor. Like they had the Sonic meme.
Yeah, they had this. And while some people might roll their eyes at that, I think
I thought it was good.
It was worked in really well. Because they're like, the joke is there's this guy that saw Sonic and no one believes him, and he drew a picture like, this is what it is. But it was the Sonic drawing, and I thought that was kind of clever. Because I think the best way to work in references is if you didn't understand the reference, it still works in the context of the classic Simpsons did references like that. If you didn't get the reference, it still drove the plot forward in an understandable way, even if you didn't catch it. And that's what they do here. Even down to referencing the games a lot. Sonic rolls into a ball, really. Oh, the way he rolls into a ball, because he does spin dash. But while in the game, they just kind of replace the model with a sphere. In the movie, he curls up. You see the quills, his hands tuck in. And it didn't look weird. I was expecting it to look weird, but it looked like, I'm looking at this character, it looks like something he could do. I
really wanted to like pick the thing up and like feel it.
He looked fuzzy.
It looked awesome.
That model looks so good.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe they were going to go with that original model before.
It was a nightmare.
It was. Yeah. But I mean, that's another problem with Hollywood. Again, like, they don't respect the source material. It's them being like, how do we turn this into real life? And they've done it time and time again with Ninja Turtles, with Smurfs. They're focusing, and Alvin and the Chipmunks. You said earlier, they're focusing too hard on trying to make it realistic and make it work in the real world when they're not. They're forgetting.
This thing is like out of this world, anyways, right?
I'm already suspending my disbelief that this alien character is even talking to these people. It's not. It doesn't matter what you make it look like. It's the same effect. And God, I couldn't imagine watching that movie with that old model.
I'm looking forward to like some behind the scenes on the Blu-ray, but
well, the thing is, a lot of people want them to release the cut with the old model. The thing is, it might not have been that far into development when they decided to change it. They probably wouldn't have decided to change it if the whole movie was done. So I think they probably just had a little bit more than what we saw in the trailers. So they probably don't have the whole thing animated.
I think what I give them praise for is to even consider doing it. Like the redesign in general, because they listened to everyone's feedback and they were very excited to show the new work that they were releasing for the redesign. So, and
it would have broke my heart if they kept that design because, again, I was surprised. The writing, the comedy, the plot, it was all very enjoyable. But if I had to look at a disgusting creature the whole time, it just would have destroyed it.
That's the thing. I couldn't take my eyes off of Sonic. He was just so beautiful. He was his emotion and his facial features, his body language.
Oh God! And good. Again, like the close-ups. Oh, you imagine how disgusting all those close-ups would have looked like. And one thing I was talking about earlier when I saw it, that I noticed that I think the redesign worked in the movie's favor for, like, other than just obvious reasons of it looks better, is those close-ups, since his eyes are bigger, you get more of an emotional range out of it. And I don't think, like, those close-ups would have been as effective if his eyes were smaller and he didn't get... when his eyes tear up a little and he's looking a little sad. If it was smaller eyes, he wouldn't come through. But that's why big eyes work in cartoons. That's why they have big eyes, because they're more expressive, and I think it worked very, very well for those close-ups.
But like with the redesign, I mean, they released that Build-A-Bear, like you know that. They didn't have enough time to redesign that, and I'm really glad that they released it anyways, because I went and got it. Me and Kai went.
It looks kind of ugly.
I'm like this thing is so ugly, but I like it. And so what we did was we put a voice box in it, and it was like meow, which like it was a joke that was in the movie. It was in the trailers, and like watching it with the new design and like just like the build up to it, I was like, It was good. It was good.
I was gonna say that joke I think worked a lot better in context than the trailer, because that joke when I saw it in the trailer, it kind of made me roll my eyes.
Yeah.
But in the context, when I realized what's going on, like, oh, he has a trank gun because he thinks there's a raccoon in the garage. He said he's not gonna shoot the raccoon. He's just gonna try and scare it. But then he sees Sonic, and Sonic's like, "Fuck, I have to act like a normal animal." Meow. And he goes, "Ah!" and shoots, and it like. In context, I still didn't find it laugh out loud funny like a lot of the other jokes.
But I was still going. I
was like, okay, that's not bad in the actual movie. That's the thing about trailers is it's hard to cut a trailer and make the humor land in it because sometimes you need a greater context.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But like the jokes in there were really good. I enjoyed the jokes with Dr. Robotnik. I thought that was fantastic.
Let's get into Robotnik because we kind of haven't talked about him yet. How'd you feel about Jim Carrey's interpretation of Robotnik?
I thought he was a wonderful interpretation in this. I know some people were mixed on it, but like I was all for it.
Really? Because I've been seeing nonstop praise for it.
Yeah,
everyone.
I loved it.
I thought it was good, but a lot of people tell me that he nailed it and he completely got Eggman's personality. But it's like I don't know. It didn't really feel Eggman at all to me. It just kind of felt like Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey.
It's like I grew up watching. What was it? The Grinch and like Ace Ventura, The Mask.
I never grew up with any of those movies. I never really was a Carrey fan. I mean, I watched like Bruce Almighty as a kid. That's about it.
Because like you watch his body language and it's very Jim Carrey. That's the characters he plays.
Yeah,
right?
And that's another reason a lot of people are praising his performance because he's like very physical, he was in his '90s role. So a lot of people are kind of like seeing it as a return to classic Carrey. And I was watching interviews with him. It's funny because like everyone's going on about how he's so good at knowing what Eggman's like. He didn't even know what Sonic the Hedgehog was.
Yeah, he was playing it with his grandson or something.
I watched an interview. He goes, I knew it was a game, but I didn't, but that said, I do think, again, because Hollywood's all about interpreting things and making your own version of it, and I think his version of the character, well, firstly, it's not even, there's kind of a good excuse why it's not the Eggman we know, because this is kind of like an origin story for him. Because the Eggman in this movie isn't the mad doctor we know from the games, he's kind of like an asshole. He's
very arrogant,
egotistical. He thinks he's better than everyone because he's a genius. He's never lost a fight in his life because he's always been able to build these machines. He doesn't rely on
brains
people.
Over bronze.
He likes machines better than people because machines obey him and do everything he wants, while people, there's room for, people might not listen to him. We kind of see him go from just an asshole, arrogant prick doctor to an actual mad doctor by the very end.
Slowly losing his
That's kind of, we'll get into spoilers, there's a thing at the end there, but I thought it was interesting how he kind of worked his own mannerisms into it, like acting like a acting like a robot. I watched an interview and Jim Carrey kind of described that as like, he's so disconnected from humans that he doesn't like humans. He kind of almost wants to be a robot, which is why he acts out. And I thought that was interesting because Eggman's not like that, but again, this is a different Eggman than we know. And I like that he decided to do some of his own flavor to it. Because again, that's what how Hollywood works. It's not going to be the exact same thing as a game. It's not copy and paste. You make a version of it, and I was kind of happy with what they were doing with it. Even if it wasn't the Eggman, I kind of. But again, we'll get into that later because there's more to it.
Well, I was pleased with his performance. It was not.
There was a lot of great moments.
There was a lot of good.
The dancing scene was actually really good. I love the idea of Eggman kind of being like this. He's so smart, he's able to solve all his problems, and Sonic's the first problem he can't solve, so he becomes obsessed with it, and that's what drives him to being mad. I like that a lot. I think that was good. Let's talk about the action scenes, because I think they were probably the biggest highlight of the movie for me. I couldn't imagine watching those scenes and having it be the old Sonic. Because there's like, towards the end, the climax, Sonic's throwing rings, they keep going to like different parts of the world, they're chasing each other. One thing I thought was really good. This was a really brilliant use of something. It's they kind of obeyed the rule of two, as I like to call it. But they did that gag where Sonic's going so fast that everything pauses. But they do that again later. But later, instead of it just being a gag, they show that Eggman's new ship can go as fast as Sonic. So they reuse that moment, but instead of a gag, it's an oh shit moment. Shit just got real because he can move this fast too. That was really effective because it was a callback. They did a lot of stuff like that. Like the whole bucket list thing was a good running motif. It wasn't like great cinema poetry or whatever, but it was a nice little...
It was very fitting for this movie.
It gave Sonic something to care about. It gave the character a drive to kind of... connections, why he doesn't want to stay here, does he actually want to go home, now he has things to care about, and I think the bucket list was a really good thing. Like that, when it kept cutting to it, and you saw some scratched off things that he like did in the movie, because he just wanted to do that, because I like that a lot. That was quite good.
But yeah, no, the action scenes were awesome. Like
they were.
Like bar fight.
Oh, the bar fight. Oh, did you notice that when he breaks that first Eggman vehicle, like a smaller one comes out?
Yes.
Because that's what they do in the games. When you beat a boss, small... Yeah, I didn't notice that until the credits. Yeah. When they re-show the... Because during the credits, there's like a little 16-bit Sonic animation, kind of retelling the events of the movie. Yeah. And he hits it and it blows up. And it's funny because, like, again, I think that is a great way to adapt video game elements into a movie. It's a reference, again, going back to the Sonic thing. If you didn't get it, it would just feel like a normal thing. Yeah. And even when I didn't realize it felt like a normal thing, like they blow up the first thing, but then like a smaller thing comes out. Yeah. And I didn't realize that.
Him running down the building, even the truck, it felt like it was like the GUN truck from Sonic Adventure.
A lot of references, right? So, a lot of good subtle references that you don't have to know to enjoy, but if you catch them, they're...
Another thing I noticed in the references when because like Sonic's not from Earth, right?
Yeah.
He has like maps at different universes and stuff he can go to, or planets.
Yeah.
They actually have the one from Sonic 3 where it's the sphere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I noticed that on the sheet.
On the sphere on the chain?
Yeah, you know when you jump through one of the warp rings and it takes you to the blue sphere stage?
Yes.
Yeah. They have that on the map, and I was like, that's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so
that's a deep cut, honestly. Yeah.
Another thing I noticed when the fuses in Eggman's like little base goes off, he goes to the fuse box. There is Evil Lab and Badniks.
I saw Badniks. I saw that too.
I was like that.
There's a lot of little things there. Yeah.
When I see the robots, he has like these egg-shaped robots.
Yeah.
The one on the wheel kind of felt like that was the motor bug.
Yeah.
From like
OG.
He got so desperate he just sent in a motor bug.
Yeah.
The fight, right?
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah. The references were very fitting. They related to the original like
and they were,
game itself.
They didn't feel shoehorned in. They felt cleverly, carefully placed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what I really like to see in those movies because like. With the Mario Bros. Movie,
it's like they don't know what these characters are. They just
the fact they were using fungus in that, like, just being like, mushrooms are involved, right?
Yeah,
it's fungus. It's everywhere. So I'm like,
you can't. It's There's a difference between like taking the video game thing and slapping it in a movie, or understanding the video game thing and knowing how to put it in the movie, which they clearly didn't know back in the day before video games were a respected medium, and Hollywood just kind of saw it as another way to make money. Yeah.
So
and with that said, I would say Detective Pikachu and Sonic are two huge, monumental, important steps forward in raising the standards for video game movies. I think from here on we're going to start seeing better video game movies, because that's 2 for 2 that were both very competent, and I think they both had strengths the other ones didn't. They had weaknesses the other ones didn't. You know, I think Sonic is less of a flawed movie, but it's a much safer movie. Yeah. But again, overall, I did enjoy it more. But I think a big part of that is because I'm more of a Sonic fan than I am a Pokemon fan.
With fans of these game series, I think that's one thing these Hollywood production companies need to take into consideration is just the criticism and the actual referencing of the games.
They need to understand their audience.
They need to understand it. Yeah. Rather than just slapping something on
there. And it feels like that's what they're finally starting to do. So, with that said, we get the spoilers, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the first scene at the end where Robotnik, or Eggman, gets warped to the mushroom planet. Yeah. And he starts turning into the Eggman that we know from the games. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah. It was wonderful because Agent Stone.
Agent Stone, awesome. Agent Stone was a good character, actually. And it's funny how you realize at the end they named him Dr. Stone, or Agent Stone, literally just to have that gag where he makes up his own, like, rock, and he's throwing around and talking to him, and he's completely lost his mind. And if you also notice, he's also moving more like a robot.
Yeah.
Because that's Jim Carrey's way of saying he's completely left any desire of being human, and now he's Eggman. He's completely left that behind, and I thought that was a brilliant little thing. That was something Carrey came up with. He said that in an interview that wasn't written down. Him acting like a robot was that was Carrey, and I thought that was interesting. He had the mustache, the shaved head, the big goggles. He even had like more throat to his voice, like Sonic.
Yeah,
he's kind of sounded a little bit more like Mike Pollock. Even the laugh you mentioned. Before. He had
that wonderful laugh at the end.
So it's definitely teasing that like if they do a sequel, which they super tease, which we'll talk about in 2 seconds. They show that like the Eggman we'll see in the second Sonic movie won't be like the origin kind of humanoid interpretation of it. It'll be the Eggman we know from a little bit closer to that, and that's got me really excited. But also,
so after that's all concluded, Eggman's gonna be back before Christmas time. Blah blah blah. It takes this awesome shot of Green Hills, Montana. That's the place in the movie. And it's just a forested, like a forest mountainside.
Yeah.
Winds are blowing, and then a warp ring opens up, and it's Tails, and I lost my goddamn
The Tails model looks awesome.
mind. I was like, I felt bad for anyone who was sitting in front of me, because like when I leaped out of my seat because I wasn't expecting it.
I was so excited.
I was like, Tails! Like that, and I kicked the seat in front of me, so if there was like a small child or like an old person, they got launched to the front of the theater.
Brady, you were a fucking menace to society. Oh my lord.
Don't get me hyped up.
I got excited too when I saw Tails, because I avoided spoilers. I knew that. I didn't know he was in the movie.
Yeah.
And the Tails model looked really good, and I'm wondering if they didn't
imagine what he looked.
If they didn't redesign Sonic, that means Tails' design was different too. I wonder what Tails' old gross model looked like.
He probably looked like the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Have you ever seen that?
Oh god, that's a really good movie. Yeah. But he probably looked.
Yeah, he probably would have.
That would have looked uncanny in the movie, but Also, the echidnas at the beginning.
Oh god,
that was
I don't
cool.
even want to imagine.
What would the echidnas have looked like? Because the echidnas had like more traditional Sonic-like designs. That was really cool. Showing the echidnas.
I was really pleased with it. It was good.
God, and then so they super duper tease a sequel, and again like. I guess that concludes spoilers. Just kind of us getting this is a huge step forward for video game movies. It's not like it's not like you're going to see like a Tarantino or you're not seeing Stanley Kubrick. It's not like a poetic masterpiece. Of course it's not.
But it was a wonderful film.
It's a wonderful kids movie. I really enjoyed it. I was blown away at how, because again, I went in expecting good for a kids movie. I came out thinking that was just good. And I can't wait for them to do more. Because, again, you start with a safe plot, test the waters. Oh, we did the safe plot good. Yeah. That's what Angry Birds the movie did. Did you know that?
That's right, they did that. They made a sequel.
The first one was kind of received not so well, but the second one was received really, really well. Why did they do that for the Sonic movie? What did the second one's received? Because this one got like average, I think it's got like 63 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is actually really good for video game
When it first released, though, I was seeing it was at 91, but like 60, around 60 is not that bad.
Are you saying audience or critics?
I think it was might have been audience.
The audience is 91.
Audience is 91. That's.
But I mean, critics kind of have a different perspective of the movie because they watch like a lot of movies.
They do this.
In the way that I watch a lot of like movies because I was in film school and I used to watch 5 movies every weekend. But. Yeah, like it's easy to fall into that mindset of like it's if you have to compare it to the best movies, of course. Yeah. But if looking at it as a Sonic movie, oh my god, it's so funny because Sonic is. We expect the lowest from Sonic because Sonic's been...
See, that's the thing. I went in there just being like, I'm only going for Jim Carrey.
Sonic always gets the short end of the stick, and I feel like finally, with like everything could go wrong, and finally Sonic just gets a break.
They just did it right. They did it right.
The acting was good, the humor was good, the action scenes were good, the editing was good, the special effects were good. Nothing was bad.
No.
It was... man.
Yeah, it was... Good job. Good job.
It's not just a competent movie, it's a good movie. Yeah.
That's another thing I really liked.
That it was a good movie?
Yeah, it was a good movie. The opening, they have, for Paramount, they show, they have like the jingle for Green Hill, Green Hill Zone, and then it works its way into this like symphonic Sega chant.
And they show all the Sega games. They zoom out.
I was like, Yakuza, Daytona.
That was giving me chills. Actually. I was like, that was. Ooh.
So I was like, it got me going. So
that got me excited. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we've kind of gone on for like 27 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if we even hit everything we meant to talk about, but I guess that was some general discussion. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Any final thoughts on the movie, I guess? What are you bringing this up?
This looks like a weird horror film.
I found this on the side of the road when walking home. It's some, like, a bunch of Arabic movies. They were frozen solid. You're not going to be able to see if you bring it up here. You got to bring it back here in focus.
Comedy night.
What are these movies? Why are you bringing them up in the Sonic
But this
review?
is best DVD.
It just says best DVD.
We're gonna have to compare it to.
I found a bunch of. I think they're like Bollywood movies. I don't know. I found them on the ground.
Like this reminds me of like Mrs. Doubtfire. This reminds me of See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and then this is just Saturday Night Live with Friends.
It just feels like all the rejected like Friends people. So that's your final thoughts of the Sonic movie? Is bringing this up for some reason?
This is a blockbuster case.
That is a blockbuster case. I can tell from the. That's.
See you guys.
Printed on DVD-Rs. They're not even real movies. Sonic's a real movie though.
Go see it.
Go see it.
I'm good.
Careful, buddy. Alright, that's the Sonic review, I guess.